Welcome, everyone. Today, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about rest and sleep for recovery and rejuvenation of your body and your mind. The sleep and the rest that you get play a huge role in your wellness. So let's talk about my top 10 recommendations for sleep and rest, and why sleep is so important for us. Recommendation for sleep generally is 7 to 9 hours a night, and oftentimes we have trouble accomplishing that, whether it be because we have a bad routine or we have trouble falling asleep or staying asleep. All of those problems are real and have devastating consequences for our recovery and our state of well-being. So looking at the recommendation for how many hours you should be sleeping a night, generally it's 7 to 9 hours, and we need that in order to improve our recovery time, our performance, make better decisions, to help increase our energy levels, and to balance our hormones. I want to give you a few common problems that we face based on not getting enough sleep. And so you may find yourself craving sugar, and there are sugars in many things. Those include natural sugars, but also sweets, chocolates, fructose, glucose, and juices. And believe it or not, a lot of alcohol has sugar in it. Those cravings that you may feel for those items may have something to do with your ability to sleep and not getting enough. Another pitfall that we see if we're not getting enough sleep is weight gain, the feeling of physical and mental stress, inflammation in the body, and decreased performance overall, whether it be physical or mental. My tips for sleep and for recovery, I'm going to give you a list, and I'll go into each one a little bit more in depth to give you some examples and to help you follow and deepen your understanding of the tip. So my first one is we really need to reduce our caffeine after 12 noon each day. Caffeine does have a role in the body that it will last and stimulate us up to 10 hours after we've consumed it. So if you're having coffee later in your day, that might be a part of the problem of getting to sleep. That's one thing that we need to reduce the caffeine, and the caffeine can be from coffee or tea. Both do have caffeine in them. Next thing I would recommend is to stay away from refined sugars, especially before bedtime. So, in the evening times, often people are having cravings or they're sitting in front of their screens and they're either bored or they're just munching out of habit. And so we really want to be careful to be mindful of when we're eating and what we're eating and at what times. Obviously, everybody loves desserts and sweets, and it's impossible to completely stay away from it. But before bedtime, eating anything before bedtime, I would say after 8 p.m. at night, is not a good idea if you want to get a restful sleep. The third thing I want to mention is a grateful log, something that you are grateful for in the day, something that went well for you that day, something that you're thankful for, and you really want to carry that positive mindset of being thankful for how you are doing that day. Even if you've had a really bad day, just try and find something that went well for you that day, even if it's just having your cup of coffee that morning, or seeing the sun shining in your window, or being able to, have food on the table, having a clean sheets to sleep in, a bath before you go to bed. All of these things we can be grateful for, and this will help us to achieve this kind of sleep that we want to go to bed with. something positive to think of. If our minds are wandering into the negativity, oftentimes that can prolong the time it takes for us to fall asleep because our mind is busy worrying about what tomorrow will bring or what happened in the day. Many times it's things that we can't control. So the worries are not really helping us. When it's time for sleep, we need to focus on setting ourselves up for that successful sleep by putting ourselves in a positive mindset. The fourth thing I wanted to mention was to sleep in a dark environment. If you can, make sure that your curtains are closed so that there's no light coming in to the window. Sometimes we have technology on in our bedrooms when we're falling asleep, or even the lights coming from your clock at your bedside can disrupt your sleep. So if you are finding that you are having trouble falling asleep, please just try to look for those things in your environment and check to see if there are items that may cause your sleep to become disrupted from the light or the sound of the buzzing of some kind of technology. So you really need to sleep in the dark, and that gives the body the signal that it needs to know that it's time for rest. Number 5 is to make sure you stretch and meditate every evening, even if it's just a very simple stretch at your bedside, or you can choose to do one of the cool down stretches and meditations that I offer on this channel, and I'll mention it up in the card above this particular segment of this video. There are a couple of different stretches and meditations that I offer on the channel. You can check them out. When we are doing that, it's really to kind of comfort ourselves, get our bodies relaxed into a good position to recover and go to sleep from. And meditation can mean anything. Meditation is not necessarily doing yoga. Meditation, it can be saying a prayer or a poem or a mantra as you fall asleep, and that is your meditation. Something to focus on to lull your body and your mind into that state of relaxation. And it's different for everybody what will work. So you need to try a few things. Obviously, the first thing may not work, so you may have to try a different meditation or a different mantra before you rest, something that you can repeat in your mind that helps you to relax and get into that comfortable state. The next thing I would recommend, you're having the conversations with your doctor. If you have issues with falling asleep and the regular routines are not working for you, you may need to look into, for example, if how your melatonin levels are, or if you're getting adequate vitamin D, or if your magnesium levels are good. So all of these things are things you would need to check with your doctor, maybe have tested, and have those discussions to see if any of those deficiencies may be affecting you. Number 7 on my list is to turn off your computer, your laptop, and your TV. You need to really do that at least an hour before bed if you're trying to get your mind to settle. It's really helpful to have the screens off. That light, whether you realize it or not, it's disrupting us. So definitely recommend to shut down all of those devices if you're getting ready for sleep. The next thing on my list, number 8, would be to create a routine. So all of the tips I've mentioned thus far are recommendations for lifestyle changes. You really need to have a routine for sleep, something that helps you to get your mind and your body into that focused state of mind to go to bed. So it may be something as simple as going to brush your teeth before you go to sleep, You know, setting yourself up with either taking a bath or a shower, or going to your room and stretching, doing the meditation that I recommend on the channel. Um, and then, of course, lying down in the dark place with your eyes closed and you're thinking about only the thankful things and the peaceful things that will help to lull you to that state of mind where your body can relax and rest. The next item on my list is number 9, and I would really recommend that you commit to a good active routine for your day. Sometimes our bodies, we are sitting a lot, especially these days, and we're not doing any activity to make our bodies tired. And that really is not what our bodies are meant to do. We really want to give ourselves the opportunity to be a little bit active in our day each day. And whether that be a workout routine, a stretching routine, that's all good. You may not always have time for it, or you may want to do something else like going for a walk. Whether the weather allows it, you can do the workout or the walk, or you could do even some light housework. A little movement every day is really going to help you to get that mobility in your body, that activity that your body needs to work with the regular rhythms of what your body is meant to be doing. We're not meant to be sedentary all our days. Our bodies are really meant to move. That's the way that we were made and structured. So you need to find something that works for you to get yourself active in each and every day. Something, even if it's 10 to 20 minutes, that's sufficient activity to get your muscles and joints moving and your body feeling like it's had some expression of work or physical exercise. And the last thing on my list, I really want you to think about keeping your the last thing on my list is really commit to your sleep. Like everything else, anything worth having takes time and effort. So if you do want to make sure that you are getting the sleep that you need, and this has become an issue for you, whether it's because of some physical impediment or your mind is racing, really need to get into that feeling of commitment to getting the rest that you need. So that's something that oftentimes we overlook. We really need to commit to the sleep routine. Getting to bed at the same time every night really helps, even on the weekends. If you can try and go to bed at the same time and wake up at the same time, that's often the best. Sometimes we can't do that. We fall outside of routines, and then it's destructive for our self-help and self-care. So you really want to give yourself the advantage of working on sleeping for recovery, and that will definitely help with reducing your stress, reducing the feeling of anxiety, helping your mental acuity, making better decisions, feeling happier overall. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please, and share and subscribe. If you do have any comments or suggestions for future videos, please do go ahead and comment in the comment box below. I will reference in the description box some resources for nutrition and recommendations to other websites if you're interested in that. And please go ahead and share this with the people that you care about and to give them the help and the support that they need to get the sleep that they also need in their lives. Appreciate your time and thank you for joining me today.